What comes in mind when you hear the words crimes and Afghanistan in the same sentence? War, guns, Taliban, women covered from head to toe, honor killings? Well, that's what came to my mind too, but what if I told you there's so much more darker crimes decorated in fancy titles in the name of culture? It's called Bacha Bazi, literally translating to dancing boy, a practice that provides men the grounds to abuse and exploit young boys sexually. The boys are often from the ages of 10 to 17, and once they turn 18, they are disposed off having outgrown their usefulness and attractiveness. Wow, are these the same men blaming women for being sexually assaulted because of their clothings? What about these boys? Are they tempting them too? They make me sick. These cultural practice, as they call it, actually originated from Pakistan when the soldiers went to war. They developed the practice of dressing up boys in women clothing and making them dance for them as a source of entertainment. So, with time, Afghans adopted the practice and had been there since. However, in the 90s when the Taliban took over the government, this practice was completely banned, but in recent years has emerged. This practice is adopted especially by the wealthy and influential men. I'm talking politicians, warlords, ministers, businessmen, and even religious leaders. Now I know you are thinking how this is even allowed in a strictly Muslim country where homosexuality is prohibited. Well, I think we can all agree that this goes deeper than that. Acts of children trafficking, exploitation, and basically pedophilia. You see, these men are very powerful and have significant influence on the government system where corruption runs deep. Basically, they are untouchable, or at least that's how they see themselves. What is even more sick is that these boys not only dance for these sick men, but they are also owned. They have owners. These men can own up to 10 boys at a time. The more you own many beautiful boys, the more you are considered wealthy, which is a symbol of power. I can't even begin to explain how sick that statement makes me. As to where they get the boys, they usually target boys from very poor families. Sometimes they ask the parents for the child in exchange for money, which they often agree to due to desperation. Although according to interview from most families, they claim they usually have no idea that's what happens to their child. But I don't know. They definitely know. Other times, these men pick boys from the streets where some of them go to find odd jobs to provide for the family. They lure them with the promises of money, better life, and education. Once they're taken in, they undergo dancing training, which usually lasts almost an entire year. When they are ready, they perform in front of a bunch of pathetic men whilst dressed in women's clothing and makeup, with some sort of metal balls tied around their arms and ankles. Afterwards, these men decide who is going to spend the night with the boy, and in some cases even fights breaks out when they can't agree. This often places danger upon the victim as he becomes a target of violence from obsessive men when they face rejection. In one case, a dancing boy was found murdered because he had rejected a man who was a police officer. The case was never solved, although everyone knows who did, and most likely justice will never be served by the authorities. When these boys turn 18, their fate depends on their owners. Some masters find them wives, a house and a job, while others just dispose them. I can't even begin to imagine the emotional trauma these boys go through for years. And what's even worse is that they are expected to just forget about it and move on, settle down and start a family. But we all know trauma doesn't work like that, so you find that later on, these people ventures to get revenge, but they seek it from the wrong person, becoming predators themselves, and the cycle of abuse continues. It is sick how these men pretend to be religious and even pray several times a day. If you're one of these sick psychos, I only have one thing to say to you. No matter how many times you pray a day, it doesn't matter. You will never wash away those evil deeds, and if hell exists, you have a special place there, you disgusting a. Anyway, I'm glad that you've watched this far because this need to be brought to your attention and the world at large. These practices need to stop. These children need to be saved. So share and try to find out how you can help. So yes, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Share, like, comment, and subscribe for more. Stay safe, keep your kids safe if you have any, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.